Well, hey there, everybody, as my good pal Deluxe would say. It's Tuesday night. It's 9 o'clock Eastern, and you are tuning in to Zero Hour Transformers podcast, where I, your host, Extra Zero, try to bring you up to speed with everything going on in the world of Transformers in about an hour or so. If you're watching me here on YouTube, thank you very much. I wouldn't be able to do this show without all you wonderful people who tune in each and every week. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. And I was looking at the dates, like we are coming up on a year of this show in October. So I think I might try and do something special for that. I might do a giveaway. I wanted to do a giveaway for hitting 500, but I might do a little something just to give back to everybody who tunes in. I'll find something fun to give away. It won't be anything like huge, but definitely something that people would want. So if you're watching me here on YouTube, again, thank you very much. We got a live chat over there. So if you're watching and you're watching on the live show, don't be shy. Pop into the chat. I like to highlight comments throughout the course of the show, making you all a part of the conversation. I love to hear what people are thinking. I love to hear how people react to the stories. So if you want to drop a comment, chances are I will highlight you and interact with you throughout the course of this. If you don't mind, and if you like what I'm doing over here, smash that like button because it does help me out in the algorithm. And if you're not already subscribed, hopefully tonight's the night that I earn your subscription. So if you do hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, because you never know when I'm going to drop bonus content on the channel. It's been a hectic week. I've been trying to get a lot done. We're going on vacation next week, and I am so looking forward to hitting the beach. It's a late summer vacation, but it's desperately needed. So next week, I won't be back on the show, and I'll be taking off for vacation, but I'll be back the following Tuesday. So no show next week. Watch, there'll be a ton of news that drops while I'm away, but yeah. So it's kind of a slow news week this week, and but we still got a lot of stuff to talk about. There was an interview that came out from SDCC that I'm going to be spending a lot of time on. I took some notes from it because there's a lot of stuff in that interview with Nate and Evan from Hasbro, and I don't think a lot of people caught on to it. We also have some updates on some Japanese exclusive figures, some release dates, some pricing, and then a ton of stuff, and I mean a ton of stuff from DNA Designs. So before I say hi to the chat and get into the news, let's kick things off with this week's. And this week's Figure of the Week is one that I talked about kind of extensively on the show, and I kind of drug my heels on getting it. I'm a firm believer in patience saves pockets, and when I say it was one that I talked about extensively on the show, I mean, I talked about this figure all throughout the prototype stages. I think we were even talking about it back when I was still on Figure Action, and that is Fans Hobbies Armor Eagle. So this is a little bit of, at this point, he's not ancient, but he's an older release. He came out much earlier this year, and former viewer of mine, Ridiculous Badger, he had one up. I made him an offer, and I got this much lower than retail. I love Fans Hobby, and I don't know why I drug my feet on this one. There's just other stuff coming out, and I was like, I'll wait on a deal, and I got a really good deal on this guy. So you're probably looking at this and going like, what the hell is that? No, he is Metal Hawk from Master Force. So yeah, he's a pretender. They did actually appear in the anime. And he was one that was never released in the States, so a lot of people don't have any connection to him, though he did kind of get a resurgence in IDW. Like, they made him a main character. Well, not a main character, but he got a pretty extensive arc in IDW. And so, yeah, you're looking at this like, what's up with that face. He did get a legacy release too. I love the way that Fans Hobby integrated the Pretender shell into this, because it's just armor pieces that friction fit on, and it's just really easy to get him into his normal bot mode. I say that, but the pieces do fit on really well, which is nice. They're not just gonna fall off if you look at them funny, especially the shoulder pieces. Those ones stay on really secure. Just got to find the sweet spot. And you do need like fingernails to get these pieces like the wrap around off. We get the chest piece off too. And I did put repro labels on him just to complete the look. But it's just really, really cool how these armor bits change the aesthetic of the figure quite significantly. And it's just such a fun play pattern. It's funny too, like this is like so easy to do, and I'm just like sitting on the couch, but now that I'm behind the camera trying to get his armor off, I'm running into a little bit of difficulty with it. I'm almost there, so bear with me. And golly, the head armor, I think, is the tougher one, because it does get on there really securely. I got one little bit of armor left, and then we'll show him. It's a fun transformation too. It's actually very similar to the Legacy transformation in a lot of ways, which I guess was a retool of Cyclonus. And I wouldn't exactly want Fans Hobby to retool this guy into Cyclonus, because we've got some good Cyclonus options. And also, I like Fans Hobby staying in their lane. Hey, Lance, good to see you, man. But yeah, there we go. Oh, I turned his head around. Let's get these wings fixed up as well. But yeah, there he is. And I dig this dude so much, whether you want to have the wings up or down, because in the show, in the anime, he kind of had them both ways. And yeah, you can get whatever look you want. Now, a couple of downsides on this guy. He has double jointed elbows, but you're really only going to get 90. They didn't put an ab crunch in. He's got a full waist swivel, but they didn't put an ab crunch in. The head's on a, kind of, I wish the head was on a broader ball joint. I wish you could look up a little bit more. And the knees kind of, they're double jointed and ratcheted, but you're only getting about 90. So posability on him isn't the best, but he's a fun figure with a fun transformation. And they did, one of the things I really liked is Fans Hobby, they still have that rail gimmick for the weapons, which I love that rail gimmick. They gave him like really articulated fingers, kind of like what MMC is doing with some of their bots. So I like these fingers a lot. I know a lot of people like the old X-Trans bots hands, but these are really nice. They're nice and stiff ball joints. They're all nice and stiff ball joints, but they don't feel fragile. And you get just a natural looking splay out of them, which for a sword holding character, really good stuff. I do wish he had alternative faces though. Not really sure why they did this silver. I kind of wish they did a flat. I wish there was an option, but still, I mean, this is a really, really good Metal Hawk. It's fun. It's got a cool transformation. I like the fact that they included I still have one of his armor bits. I was like, why does this one leg look different? I still have the armor on one of the legs. But I love how you get all the options. You can have him in his Pretender shell. It's a fun transformation. The way that they engineered the landing gear within the chest is really cool. And he's just a fun, sturdy figure. And it's a good effort from Fans Hobby. I want to see them do more of these. I want to see them do, more Pretenders. And I like that gimmick. I like the friction fit for the armor. And I think it's just very effective. I guess other than articulation, I wish he did have his dual blasters. Like I wish they had incorporated a way for these fins to become his guns for his bot mode. And there is a little bit of parts forming with this piece here, becoming the rear of the jet. But that does it pretty well, But still, good figure. Like I said, I got this for a really, really good deal. I couldn't say no to. So again, thanks to Ridiculous Badger for making me that offer. And yeah, he did go to a really good home. So that's why Armor Eagle is this week's figure of the week. All right, let's check. Let's catch up with chat, see who we got in here. I see it's popping off a little bit. And say hello to everybody before we get into what's going on this week. We got my dude Princeton Phalanx coming in saying hello. Always good to see you. We got Mario Roca coming in saying, hey, Extra Zero, do you know about the censorship of the internet from the UK, Australia, and it's creeping its way to almost the whole world? Yes, I do know about what's going on with that, the ID verification. We have talked about it a bit over on the Gronking on Dogs podcast. That's the gaming podcast that I do once a week. If you're interested in seeing any of that content or any of those discussions, I have the in my link tree, we've got that podcast. I don't like government overreach. I don't like that sort of stuff. I really hope that it doesn't hit here. I don't like what they're doing in the UK, and I feel that it's primarily made by, these laws are being made by people that don't really understand the internet. I've seen some silly stuff like where if you're under 18, you can't change your settings on your NVIDIA app. And I've seen some people that have like very tattooed faces that don't get recognized, or people with facial deformities. Yeah, I don't like the overreach. And as you said, yeah, the AI verification system, I think that's a fool's errand. So yeah, definitely not cool stuff. But again, hopefully, cooler minds prevail with it. Princeton stating that Amazon is delivering Studio Series 86 Scavenger and Megatron to him tomorrow. You're very lucky. I'm getting Megatron on Thursday along with Transformers 1 Starscream. I was supposed to be getting Scavenger tomorrow, but then they bumped it over to Monday. So I'll have to wait until I return from vacation to give my Devi another arm. But hopefully they don't delay yours, and hopefully you enjoy both of them. I'm sure I'll enjoy Megatron when I get it. I've been watching the reviews, and everybody's reviews has had me excited. So we got Mega T-Rex Raw coming in saying the hour is 0. And good to see you, my friend. We've got Aquateki saying salute to the host and chat. Salute to you, good sir. And Lance coming in saying fans having to step up on their Unicron trilogy stuff. I agree. I want to see that Starscream. I want to see him. Hopefully at TFCon Chicago, they've got some stuff. So, yeah. And I do, for my channel, I go in and I flag these videos as not made for kids. I may have to do the, what kind of like what some of my friends like Patriot Prime and other reviewers like that toy guy do, just saying that this is a channel for adult collectors. But I do go in, and when I create the videos, I do say that they're not for kids. We got Paul Morales saying hello, everybody. Good to see you. Good to see you, Paul. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, I think we are pretty much. Yes, you're copying MGO there, for instance. Parts forming, worst toy ever. I'm gonna try and find something that doesn't have parts forming these days, even if it's weapon storage. But yeah, we are doing a meetup. I see since we have Lance in here, we're doing a meetup at the very end of August. So before I get into the news, if you are in the DC, Maryland, Virginia, or Pennsylvania area, on Saturday, August 30th, we're going to be having a meetup at Bar Louie in White Marsh, Maryland, from 11 to 4. So if you're interested, you don't need an invite. Just show up. You don't have to bring any figures. A lot of us do bring figures, but if you have anything you want to show off or sell or trade, you're more than welcome to bring those figures. But really, just show up with a good attitude and bring yourself. We just really enjoy having people there, getting some like-minded collectors together to hang out, have some good food, some drinks, and a good time. So if you're in the area and interested, August 30th, Saturday, August 30th, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., we will be at Bar Louie in White Marsh, Maryland, and I hope to see a lot of you there. And I am trying to get Bolt Matrix there. I just need to make sure he can commit to the time. T-Man will be there. Matt Parts Former will be there. Junkyard Crafts and Builds will be there. A lot of people from the TFW boards will be there. So, if you're in the area, It's a good time. And yes, Lance will be there with his Astrobots. So I don't know what I'll be bringing. I'll probably bring an Armor Eagle at that point. But yeah, I typically try and figure out what I'm bringing the night before. So, all right, let's get into what's happening this week in Transformers news. First and foremost, obviously I can't play this because, you know, again, it's copyrighted. But really, Transformers Cyberworld, we're already on episode 4. This was a fun episode. They introduced a couple new characters. Obviously, Alita 1 is in the in this still here. She's on the thumbnail, and yeah, this show's really aimed at kids. I've been watching it. I don't love it, but I appreciate what it is. It's kind of dumb fun. I wish there was more substance to it. But you know, we get our next episode. It's very action forward. There's a lot of there's a fight in there. You know, I don't know how this is going to resonate with kids, but you know, hey, it's 10 minutes long. It's actually less. It's about 7 minutes long before you get to the credits. Worth checking out if you've got some time to kill. But it's up. Next up, the SDCC exclusives went live for everybody earlier this week. I think a lot of these are still available. Like you can get the Timelines, Megatron, and Bumblebee, which I picked up. The Jetfire and Void Rival set, I don't know. That's still available. So if you're interested in getting that Void Rival set, let's check the Hearts of Steel set. Yep, that's still up. I don't know why it's linking to the European Pulse site, but looks like these exclusives are still up. I did help Junkion Crafts and Builds get the Cold Slither pack that was in and out of stock. The collaborative sets went up. Lego Soundwave went up, but only on the Lego site. And you know, Walmart had their Sea Spray and Brawn go up. Ages 3 and up had the Lost Light Rodimus as well as Toy Dojo. So I think that has definitely sold out. But last I checked, Brawn and Sea Spray were still up. I'm just going to wait for them to show up in retail, to be honest with you. Hey, we got Sabertron Toys. What is going on? I hope you are doing well, my friend. And yeah, so if you're interested in getting any of those SDCC exclusives, you still can. And Walmart is actually stepping up their Hasbro displays. So this was actually taken at a local Walmart near me. This was posted on one of the DMV groups, and I haven't been to this Walmart yet, but it's pretty cool. They're actually setting up little dioramas showing off some of the G.I. Joe figures as well as Transformers, and some of them actually have Marvel Legends displays. So this one doesn't, but I have seen another Walmart that had a display with Wolverine and Deadpool in it. So be on the lookout for those. I love this sort of stuff. It just kind of takes me back to like what you used to see in the Toys R Us days. And you know, it's good to see you know, companies giving a crap again, and also really good to see G.I. Joes stocked at Walmart, especially vehicles. So be on the lookout for an updated display and hopefully a restock at your local Walmart. Now, as I mentioned, we got some new reveals for the Japanese exclusives. First up, who didn't know this wasn't coming? But we get a Missing Link Nemesis Prime coming this February for approximately 117 US. And again, this guy comes with all the accessories from the larger one. I'm glad they haven't really upped the price. I'm sure he's going to be more on domestic sites, but if you go through the likes of Ami or Hobby Link Japan or Amazon Japan, I don't know why I blanked on that, he'll probably be closer to 120. I will say this looks really nice. I've got a ton of Nemesis Primes though, and yeah, I do really like the color choices on them. I like how clean that looks. But, you know, again, it's like I've got the Missing Link Prime mold twice. If I got it again, it would have to be for an Ultra Magnus that, you know, and the Ultra Magnus combined mode would really have to wow me with its aesthetics. But again, you're just getting the Missing Link Prime in the Nemesis colors. You know, I do like that they went with the pink Energon axe versus the, you know, the teal one that they did for the MP. But yeah. And apparently they're calling this not the Matrix, but the heart of Cybertron. I don't know. I'm not really sure what's up with that lore. And a teal roller, which is interesting. But yeah, all the same stuff you got with the larger one. And there he is compared to the toy one. So if you were curious. So again, this guy's out at the end of February. Now we get to the interesting one. Optimus Machina Predaking. We get more stock images. It seems like every week we get more of these. Pre-orders have gone live for him, and he's going to be approximately $325. So this is a foot-tall combiner, and you get everything in there. I'm going to be really curious to see like what the individual Predacons look, how big they are compared to other things. He's coming out March 28th, 2026. So let's run through these. I think we've seen a similar picture before, but not with the sword. And given that this is Optimus Machina, one, that price is the Japanese price. Expect this guy to probably on domestic sites be closer to 500. And I'm sure he's going to have a lot of die cast. I will say he looks great. If I could get anywhere, if I could sell my Feral Rex and get anywhere in the ballpark of 325 for Feral Rex, which is unlikely, I would probably get this guy for my IDW shelf, to be honest with you. Because I think Feral Rex is about the same size, but just as a combiner, he's not as stable. Like the individual Predacons here, they, really don't hold up, but yeah. Colonel Mazda Sanders, the fun part is the original Predaking was designed by the guy that did the original Sentai designs, which eventually became Power Rangers. But yeah, I do like how this looks. I really am curious to see like how big the individual Predacons are. Not that I'm ever really good, if I were to get them, not that I really would have them, on display as is. But you get a lot of accessories here, kind of like you did for Optimus Machina Rodimus. But yeah. And of course, it's a little difficult to see these guys here, but I'm really going to be curious what I'm sure they're probably a little bit smaller than deluxe class figures, with the exception of maybe a Razor Claw. But yeah, due out the end of March. Then we get an update. We get a size comparison for the Titan class Grimlock that's coming out next year. It's the first Titan class for Studio Series. And you see how he stacks up next to the leader class Grimlock from Age of the Primes, from the one of the first Studio Series releases. And we'll get into some details about him really soon from the SDCC interview. The engineering on him is apparently very similar, but it is not shared engineering. So the transformation, they've said, is pretty similar. And we got this SDCC interview from folks at TFW, and they had both Nate Purswell and Evan Brooks. So Evan Brooks is the designer for Transformers right now, along with Mark Lonis. You see him at a lot of events. And Nate Purswell is the brand manager for Hasbro. So there's a whole interview here. I took a lot of bullet points out from this. And there's a lot of really, really good information in this that I haven't seen reported outside of this interview with TFW. So first up, there's a lot of stuff for Age of the Primes. So a lot of people were speculating, what are they going to do for year 2 of Age of the Primes? With Siege, we went from Siege to Earthrise to Kingdom. With Legacy, we had Legacy Evolution, and what was it, Legacy United. With Age of the Primes, they're not doing that. It's just going to be Age of the Primes across however many years they're doing, which I think is smart. I think eventually they probably will do a brand refresh, as they always do. But you're not going to get sublines throughout Age of the Primes. It's just going to be Age of the Primes throughout the course of them doing it. So first up, there's some questions about Bruticus. and whether or not Bruticus had any retooled parts. A lot of people have been looking at Scavenger and the hips and saying like, oh, that looks like they're reusing parts for Brawl. But Evan actually corrected that. There are no retools or shared components or partials at all in Bruticus. The aerial bots, they did, the only reason that they're doing partials on the two remaining aerial bots is just because in their eyes the jets were similar enough for them to do it. I think it probably also came down to a budgetary thing, but there is no comment on that. Brawl and Swindle are confirmed to be Voyagers, and they're going to have foot ankle ratchets similar to what we got in Mixmaster and Scavenger. And also on the top of combiners, they do want to finish G2 Menasor, and they're trying to figure out how to release Wild Rider and Motormaster. I think just kind of chucking them in. I think maybe making Wild Rider a regular deluxe and making Motormaster Gen Selects Commander class might be the smart way of doing it, kind of like what they did for Triptychon. But we'll see. That is something they want to do. Going back to Bruticus, Onslaught is also still going to have the ability to do that Scramble City partial thing, right? So even though Brawl and Swindle are going to be they're going to be Voyager figures, they're going to have the similar thigh connector to what you get in Menasor and Superion. So that kind of Combiner Wars style connector port, that's going to be there and present. This will make Lance happy. Apparently, Takara Tomy really loves them doing Armada trilogy, Unicron trilogy figures. We did last week get that listing for Armada Jetfire, and Evan in particular was talking about hinting that we're getting both Jetfire and Overload, and hinting at plans to do Wing Saber and Leo Breaker. And apparently when Mark Mir, also known as Mark Clonus, when he designs these figures that have combined modes, he wants to do the whole ecosystem of them. So that means that if we were to get a Leo Breaker, we probably would get an update to Cybertron Optimus Prime. And if we were to get Wing Saber, we would get Energon Prime. A little bit more on that. Evan stated that Mark does want to do Energon Prime, but he wants to make his proportions more appealing. I guess probably after seeing what Fans Hobby did, maybe that inspired Mark, since we know that these guys are well aware of what third party does. Evan was asked about Beast Wars, and this will also make you very happy, Lance. His wish list is doing Magnaboss and Tripredicus. That's right there in the interview. So, yeah, his other wish list items are an animated Omega Supreme, and if he did it, he'd want to have the Lugnut optional head as well as maybe Starscreams. And one last thing on Age of the Primes is the possibility of doing a gold set, like what's featured on the back of the box. I don't know how they would work Star Optimus Prime into that, but they want to do gold repaints. And more likely, we will get a blue version of Onyx Prime so he can match his IDW incarnation down the line. Going into Studio Series, there's a lot of interesting stuff there. So Evan went on to say that there's a big potential for them to pick up the Reactivate designs. Nate actually came in saying he really is a big fan of the concept art stuff, and Evan stated that there were a lot of really good designs that he just wants to see brought to life. So hopefully that happens, because I really liked what I saw for that Reactivate Hot Rod, and same with the RC too. And I think Grimlock was even shown for Reactivate, so I'd be really curious to see what they do with that. Grimlock, the Titan Grimlock for Studio Series. He does, as mentioned, have new tooling, articulated jaws, though one thing about that is he does have articulated jaws, but because of the way the teeth are, the mouth won't be able to fully shut. He does have a 3mm port on him that will port into like the stand port on the Age of Extinction or Last Night Prime, so that Prime can actually ride him really securely. There is a second in-scale Dinobot in development at that scale, but we won't get that until 2027, so it probably won't be until this time next year, that we actually even see any prototypes or any info on that. Going on to the Seekers, the Studio Series Seekers, Evan was asked about like why they're doing the new version of the Seekers. And he basically stated, well, the decision came in because they never got around to doing a Studio Series Skywarp or Thundercracker, and enough time had passed that they were able to rationalize doing a 2.0 version. And we have had do-overs of figures already. Like, we just got the 2.0 version of Bumblebee. We just learned that we're getting a 2.0 version of the 07 Prime. Technically, we got a 2.0 version of Dropkick and Shatter. Granted, they did that for their alternate vehicle modes. So really the key for getting updates in Studio Series is just has enough time passed. So if you get something in Studio Series, it does not mean it's the definitive version. And I guess also that applies to this Grimlock, the Titan class Grimlock as well. They're asked about Studio Series Prime and if he's going to get any repaints, and Evan kind of said that yes, expect a Nemesis version, expect a white version for Ultra Magnus, expect more shattered glass, and also hinted that they may use the Commander class Magnus for a all-in-one transforming shattered glass Magnus, which I would be happy with. I love how big and beefy that is, and I feel like that would be a really cool incarnation of shattered glass Magnus. One thing that's changed is in the past, they said that if they ever did a updated Rodimus Prime, that it would just be a repaint of the Kingdom one. Evan said that no, they've changed their mind, and if they do an 86 Rodimus, it will now be an all-new mold. Another question they were asked was about the back of the box for Studio Series 86 Megatron and what the blue arm meant. And he stated, no, that means nothing. It's just Photoshop to really, really accentuate that other characters can hold the gun. They were also asked about putting other media into Studio Series. The Gamerverse stuff was a big one. So we talked about the concept art and Reactivate, but the other mobile games like Forge to Fight and some of those unique designs could potentially get shoehorned into Studio Series. And it's also possible that other shows could get show accurate versions done through Studio Series. So kind of like what they did with G1ifying characters in the early parts of Legacy. It's a possibility that they could put Prime characters in, or even do they had mentioned Earthspark and maybe doing Cyber World stuff, but they really want to target some of the older media and stuff that people have grown into. So they're curious to see how Age of the Primes and Studio Series, I guess the main line and the subline, evolve down the road. Quick one on timelines. Nate stated that he really wants to see Hearts of Steel Shockwave happen. If you don't remember Hearts of Steel Shockwave, he was a big riverboat. Mastermind Creations was the only company to ever tackle that design, and I don't think it's aged the best, but Nate apparently wants to do it. I would love to see it. Going into HasLab details. So per Evan, everybody's kind of aware at this point that Omega Prime has a secret mode where you combine all of the leftover parts from Optimus Prime and make a larger Omega Prime mode. And he stated that was indeed discovered by the Japanese fans, and that what the Japanese fans found is the official design, and they are going to they're going to get around to releasing photos and potentially instructions showing how you can combine all the components together. As for HasLab, they apparently have their 2026 concept ready, and they already know what they're doing. And he brought up Mark and stated that Mark really wants weird concepts, but Nate came in to say that part of the decision for what goes into HasLabs is that they need to be able to fund, which, look, you're doing a crowdfunding. I think that's where you bring in the weird ideas. You do the stuff that conventionally could never really work work with, brick and mortar stores or e-tailers. You want to do the experimental stuff, but it does sound like from where the conversation went that Primus may be it. And they were asked about Primus, and Evan said if it happens, it would be a HasLab if it's done. So we might get Primus next. But which Primus is the question? Will we get a comic one? Will we get a Cybertron one? Would it be a hybrid of both, where it comes with a bunch of pieces to make it whichever version of Primus you want? As hard in the paint as they've been going on Cybertron stuff and just getting Excellion and Sideways, I could see that happening. I could see them doing a Cybertron one, especially since this year is the 20th anniversary of Cybertron, and nobody's really talking about that. And that's probably the most beloved part of the Unicron trilogy from a toy perspective. So I would not be shocked if they eke that out. Going into the crossover stuff, this one really surprised me, especially since I've seen these on clearance in so many places. But Nate said that the G.I. Joe crossovers have done really well. He didn't go on to say if there'd be any more, just stated that they've done really well. And they were asked about what decisions go into doing these crossovers, and primarily it's just nostalgia, particularly the 80s stuff and picking up hot properties. The Sonic movies were coming out, the Sonic movies were doing well, so they struck the deal with Sega. Going into nostalgia stuff, we're realizing that there's still an interest in Knight Rider and an interest in Hot Wheels, and especially Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was a no-brainer. I'll be curious to see. Nobody asked if they'd be working with Mattel to do a Transforming Masters of the Universe crossover, but they really went into the NFL and talked about how people are hyped for that, and that was just a no-brainer decision. As far as the video game stuff, they were asked about that, and they said there's interest in a new game, but they couldn't comment on anything further. We know Saber Interactive is working on a game with Hasbro, but we don't know what property. So I guess they're just kind of keeping their lips sealed on that. Really interesting part of this interview was asked about the quality control issues. So TFW's interviewer asked, are they aware of the yellowing issue? Are they doing anything to rectify it? And per Evan, yes, they are aware of it. They are trying to fix that problem. And if you do experience yellowing, he urges you to contact customer care. I don't know what they'll do for you, because a lot of times when these figures start to yellow for customers, they're already out of production. So it's what are you going to do if you have shattered glass Starscream and yours is yellowed like mine? Are they just gonna hey, here's a random Voyager? Because that's what happens if Hasbro doesn't have a figure in stock. They just give you a random equivalent size class. They don't actually replace it if they don't have it in stock. So kind of a non-answer there, but I guess it is helpful if you do have yellowing to let them know what figures are yellowing. And then the doozy was he was asked about the QC issues on Omega Prime, and he declined to comment outside of saying that it was a quote-unquote learning experience. Then there were some footnotes in here, just what they called random show floor chit-chat, things they picked up. Stated that they would love to re-release the Activision games, but so far no updates. I guess that sits with Microsoft and Activision. Age of Extinction, Slog, and Snarl were brought up in discussions with the team, but right now they are focusing only on the on-screen Dinobots. So the toy-only ones, they're not off the table, but we are going to get so probably Strafe and Slug first. And then no mention of a size class, but Evan did say that 6-Shot and Great Shot could use an update, which, again, a no-brainer. 6-Shot's a hugely popular character, and I think a lot of people would like an official Great Shot. A reissue of the Centurion drone has come up, as well as accessory packs to be reissued with a Brunt to match the Age of the Primes Triptychon. I think a lot of people would like a reissue of Brunt in the different purple they use, myself included. Landcross and Road Caesar are unlikely to be happening anytime soon. If they ever do Clipper, Evan would like to make her a new mold, even though she isn't necessarily in the works right now. Oh, also, Slipstream is a possibility from the new 86 Seeker mold. The Omnibots, Evan said they're aware, and he knows it's something fans want. They're pushing for it. And Evan says if it happens, he wants to make it a Pulse exclusive. Currently, they're brainstorming a G1 Predaking and how to add in the skeletal system and the idea of it transforming into another beast has come up. So that'd be interesting to see how they work that out. Nexus Prime is going to combine in some way. And then Nate was asked for thoughts on an 86 Unicron, so not a HasLab Unicron, and he said if it's done, it would be a new mold, and he's asking for feedback on what size class, so that's very interesting. And Mark says that they want to try prototype color figures in reference to the red Thundercracker on display. So a lot of interesting stuff coming out of that interview that I haven't seen reported anywhere else. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of stuff we have around the corner. I know that was a doozy. Let's get into the rest of the stuff. We got a update on that 40th anniversary Lio convoy. So last week we had heard from an Australian shop that there were rumors that it had been canceled. But apparently Takara Tomy has come out and said that no, it is not. So Takara Tomy issued a official response through the Takara Tomy Mall via their Yahoo Japan store, and the reply stated that the item listing cancellation was due to a system issue on Yahoo Shopping. The pre-orders are still secured, and it seems the figure will finally be released in August, as it was announced some time ago. It seems the aforementioned system issue has caused a misunderstanding with some retailers. Stay tuned with this space for more updates. So this was via their Twitter account through the Yahoo Japan store. So that's good news for anybody like myself who still wanted that mold. Then it looks like the Generation Selects G2 Snarl and Slug have started to ship out. We got some in-hand pictures. Apparently these are kind of like, I don't know how the user got these. I don't know what country they're based out of, but I've been seeing a lot of discourse. These are apparently showing in stock, but for pre-order on Hasbro Pulse. So it's possible they got those shipped out through Pulse. These are a 2-pack. So we get a look at how they are in hand. And I got to say, they look pretty good. I know there's a lot of people that wanted these. We've seen them before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on them. But yeah, that is a good looking set. And it seems like they should be shipping out relatively soon. Then also we get a full reveal for the YOLO Park AMK Pro Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. So pre-orders are going live for this guy. This is a 22 centimeter tall model kit. It's not really a model kit because you're putting the pieces together. It comes with a bunch of option parts and electronics. So, 8.6 inches tall. And YOLO Park does really, really good kits. I think that they are a good rival to 3-0 with what they do. You get a lot of bang for your buck. You get the stand. You get the optional fusion cannon arm with them as well. And there's die cast in this. Tons of posability. And what is the price on him? Do they have it? Battery's not included. Do they have a price on him? I would guess he's probably in at about $60. Let's check the YOLO Park website here. Yeah, $64.99. So yeah, this is you get a lot for that point of entry, and a very, very good looking figure to boot. So again, they call these model kits, but there's really not too much assembly, and they come pre-painted as well. Going back to YOLO Park, we get a look at what they had. I didn't get to cover this last week because we were just covering all the stuff coming out of SDCC, but YOLO Park has a ton of stuff coming from the 2007 movie, more Movieverse stuff, more Beast Wars, Transformers 1. So this was from that show in Hong Kong, the anime and gaming convention. So we get a look at Ironhide, the 07 Prime. These are all resin kits. I can't tell if that's a resin kit or a kind of in production blackout just because of the nature of his coloring, but looking pretty good. They're doing the Dark of the Moon Megatron. They're even doing an Age of Extinction Drift. There's the AOE Prime and a painted version of Drift. And there's the Megatron we just looked at. I guess that's Cybertron Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie. I guess that's Rise of the Beast. Yeah, that's right. I can't tell if that's Rise of the Beast or Bumblebee Movie Prime. But yeah, they're also doing the kind of stylized Prime. I can't tell if that's an IDW Prime or not. Some of the smaller class ones. There's Nickel from the DJD, as well as some of the Beast Wars ones in that smaller scale. And smaller scale B-movie concept art Megatron, as well as some G1 characters and Primal. I kind of like that little Primal. Looks like they're doing a Rise of the Beast RC as well. So cool stuff there. And I like the way that Prime looks. I have the 3-0 Revenge of the Fallen Prime, so I try not to get too many of the model kit stuff, but I know a lot of people that love these Beast Wars. Of course, the Transformers 1 stuff there. And Flames Toys was also there. And a lot of the stuff we've already seen, the Lost Light Rodimus has been shown before. But it's cool that they're even doing like a Rodimus badge. I don't know if that's going to be a for-sale item. I think that Magnus has been out for quite some time. The Cyclonus. They're also doing Diatlas, which is pretty exciting. He never really gets any love. They're doing a Nemesis version of Lio Convoy, which is pretty cool. This looks a lot like one of the ones that was done for was it Perfect Effect that did it? And Colonel Mazda says they actually have done Evangelion collaborations before. There actually is an Evangelion collaboration coming up that we haven't seen yet. But yeah, I like this, the Galva Convoy, doing him in Beast Wars 2. Galvatron needs some love. There's the Beast Megatron all painted up. That looks pretty sick, especially next to the Megatron version, the G1 Megatron. They're doing an animated Optimus, which is pretty cool. Though granted, I would not want to pay Flames Toys prices for this, but I do like that he comes with the Jetwing armor. They're doing Bludgeon and Bonsai-tron, which is pretty sick. I think these are the model kits, though. I think those are going to be significantly cheaper. But again, those are legit model kits. The RC kit's been out for some time. And it looks like a stylized Black Arachnia as well. Doing Big Convoy as a model kit, which is pretty cool. And Bumblebee as well. So, yeah, cool stuff we didn't get to look at last week. And then there's more of the this is all stuff. Anytime you go to a convention, they've got, look, there's an Evangelion from 3-0 there. And yeah, a lot of this stuff from 3-0 we've already seen before. Except they've got their stuff, their 07 movie stuff, a Ratchet and an Ironhide and Jazz, which was an event exclusive. The DLX Scale Prime, Bumblebee, Lockdown, and again, a lot of this stuff's already out. And we looked at that. And then last bit of official stuff. We'll catch up with Chad after this. The Galaxy Force manga collection is coming. And you can get this. The original manga of Transformers Galaxy Force is going to be re-released. And it's 230 pages in an A5 format. So 5.83 by 8.27 inches. It's going to be released in August, so this month, for $20. So if you're interested in getting this manga, you can. Probably going to have to import it. I don't know that it's getting translated, but, if you are a Cybertron or Galaxy Force fan, it might be a good pickup. So before we go over the third-party stuff, let's catch up with chat, because I know things have been popping off. I know I said, hey, I don't have much to go over, but I kind of did with that interview. So let's see. Akateki saying, wow, I thought only Lego did dioramas in their stores. Yeah, it's cool to see. I think that if you're going to bring people back to the toy market, especially when they're doing the closed boxes, show people the actual toys, show them on display. I think that's going to capture a lot of people's hearts and minds. Every time we do these meetups and we have all the figures, scattered on the table, we'll get people that aren't collectors. They'll come by and they'll just want to check it out, or people that are kids at heart going like, oh my God, I used to have that character as a kid. What is that from? I didn't realize they made this stuff for adults. I didn't realize this stuff was so detailed. So I think it's a good idea to actually have people see like how posable and dynamic these figures are. Lance was doing his best to hate on that Nemesis Prime. I know how much he hates G1, but I saw he was very excited about the Predaking and I'm sorry, not Predaking, the Magna Boss and Triptychon potential. Let's see here. Colonel Miles Sanders saying, I remember those toys. I was lucky enough to have the Cheetah Beast Wars toy from AutoZone. Is it from AutoZone? You mean you mean from Beast Wars? We got Boss Hog hanging out in here. So, good to see you, Boss Hog. Hope you're doing well, my friend. We got Snap Right coming in. Good to see you. Yo, Comfy Transformers Podcast. How's it going, everyone? Hope you're having a great night. Snap. And let's see here. Princeton saying new updates, cash grab. It can be argued, but people do also miss out on this stuff. And I do like giving figures that didn't come out. I mean, the thing is, if you're happy with the version 1, you don't got to buy it. Like Fans Toys is doing a Sovereign 2.0. Their Galvatron looks fine. I don't feel like buying another one. Like, if you're happy with the version 1, you're good. That's the way I look at it. And a lot of people were happy with the Earthrise Prime. I know a lot of people were happy with MP10. Didn't go to MP44. Mario is saying he's really concerned about the AI verification system by YouTube and them asking for personal information, which means handing over the credit card or identification. I mean, technically, because I pay for YouTube, I already have done that. So I'm already verified. Yes, I do pay for YouTube because my wife and I watch more YouTube than TV. So for me, and I did see your second thing, as far as if I couldn't do content on YouTube, would I move to another platform? Absolutely. I would probably move to Rumble. I have considered, I do have the ability to stream to multiple outlets. I'd consider probably doing Rumble. I'd probably consider doing X. You know that you can stream your content there. I am not going anywhere. If anything happens to YouTube where it's just not feasible for me to stream, I will stream to other platforms, and Restream does make that pretty easy. So, I do have a bit of concern, but I think there's going to be enough pushback, especially considering how many people's livelihoods, and mine's not. I have a full 9 to 5. I do this just for fun. I don't make any money here. I'd like to get monetized just to get Restream to pay for itself or move back to StreamYards. Not to ramble, but there are other avenues. So if anything does happen with YouTube or my content is blocked by any verification system, I will find a way to get out on other platforms, be it X, be it Rumble, be it Odyssey, be it Kick, be it Twitch, one of them. So, and Akateki saying, still trying to figure out the Masters of the Universe Transformers crossover. I think it would be a vehicle. I think it would either be a vehicle or I think it would be really, really cool if they did like kind of like what they did for Naruto, where they had Panther transform into Skeletor, or Battle Cat transform into like He-Man. I think they could. I mean, I hate to see like them just take the Voyager Tigatron mold and do two retools with that, but it could be pretty cool. Or there's a ton of Masters of the Universe vehicles they could do. So that is a possibility as well. So let me go ahead. We'll get caught up on our third-party stuff because there's a bit. As I mentioned, this one is very, very heavy on DNA design. So check in on our third-party stuff, and we'll wrap the night up there. So first and foremost, DNA Designs is doing their Age of Extinction Leader Optimus Prime upgrade kit. This is coming out this November, and I believe this is already up for pre-orders. I think this one's about $30. You get a bit of stuff with it. You get a new sword, you get the shotgun, you get new forearms for him, you get a new front for the truck or top of the cab, a shield that's painted and doesn't have the parts for him, new swords, the arm spikes, and like these gift parts here. So we'll get into what that does. So here he is, all upgraded, and not too much of a difference. I think the biggest thing with this version of the character is he just is not painted very well. So you can slap all this stuff onto him, and it doesn't make him look the best. And then there's a shot with the new sword and the shield. I don't really think the new sword was necessary, but it is a little bit more accurate, a little bit. I'm sure it's probably going to be pointy. I'm sure you'll be able to take somebody's eye out with that one. You can see there, near the hilt, it's cut out a little bit more. I will say the new shield looks good, but you could just get repro labels or toy hacks to make the shield look that good. But you can see how the shield is now tooled to just open up. It's actually quote-unquote transformable. You can see how those filler pieces look on the back of the heels. They integrate into the transformation. Again, everything still stores, but there's kind of a new transformation gimmick to the back. They tidy it up a little bit. There's a direct comparison of the sword. I do think the shotgun looks nice. I will say that's a nice addition. I guess, yeah, you could, Lance is right, you could have him dual wield swords, but you could also have him dual wield, the handheld sword or the arm blades. And so here he comes with this spine piece, and you can now parts form the truck kibble into a functional shield if you so choose. I do like how that looks. The more movie accurate blade that he had for all but 5 seconds before Galvatron's chest ate it. And look at this. This is the most ridiculous thing. Like, hey, it's got storage. You can stack up all the weapons on his back. So yeah. Again, neat kit, but yeah, I'm not sure what this DK63W is. I think that's for the pre-order. It has a little bit better paint. I think that was the note there. That is the premium paint version. But again, like, why would you want a premium paint version of this when the figure itself is not painted in a premium manner? I'm sorry. I am not getting this one. I'm fine with that Prime, and when I do get the Titan class Grimlock, that Prime is going to be just permanently riding that Grimlock. Hopefully, the Nemesis Prime has a better deco. Speaking of DNA Designs, they also shared on their Facebook that their Raiden kit DK56 is shipping soon, and it includes a stand adapter now. So if you want them to utilize that stand, because I'm sure that the combined Raiden doesn't stand very well, even with their upgrade kits, you can still put them on the stand. Well, Lance, I would say you could paint them, or you could just go and get the Superior figure from DX9. That's what I'd do. That's really what I'd do. This came from DNA Designs as well, and basically this is translated, but they come in to say they're announcing the DK61 set and a reprinting of the 30 set. So many fans have inquired about the possibility of remaking or reissuing these products. After careful consideration, we have decided to limit the remaking and expect to release 504 pieces. Please contact your local dealer. Like I say, local dealer, probably local shop for more information. The estimated release time is November. Thanks again for your support to new and old fans. They go to say that the progress of the DK59 is slower than expected, and they apologize for that. The mold adjustment has been completed, and his invention officially entered the mass production stage. DK51R is expected to start shipping next week. Once ready, we'll release the official announcement online. So there's DK59. DK61, and of course DK30, the one that they've been asked about, is the Galvatron set, which again, when you have the Studio Series Galvatron, people are going to want that. Granted, I think Studio Series Galvatron kind of dried up pretty quickly. And also they're teasing, they already have a kit for Studio Series Megatron, which is just now coming out to fans. So there's their little teaser for that. I'm sure by next week, if not next show, we'll have a full-on reveal of what's in this kit. And didn't mean to do that, but for TM reviews, there is a new upgrade kit coming out from QQT. They're doing a 3D printed, what they're calling Liberation Kit for Devastator, and basically it gives him a little bit of a height boost. I don't know how well you can see, and some filler bits. So there's that. I think it also replaces long haul entirely, so he gets a more accurate waist. Again, I don't know. It's cool if you want to do it, but I think the long haul torso is fine. Then we get from TF Safari, if you happen to get the MP44 Plus, which is the toy deco of Optimus Prime, and I know a lot of people, like my friend Treebot did. He wanted a cheaper option, and that set did not include the trailer. Well, there is a KO trailer coming, and it looks like it even will have the Autobot deco up on TF Safari right now for $44. So it gets you the trailer painted up really nice with roller and the drone. I don't know that it comes with any other accessories, but that is up for pre-order from TF Safari. And also, from Star Toys, we get a video overview of their tracks. So this is up on their Weibo. And I don't know if this is going to play or not. Here we go. So this is a 13-minute long video just kind of going over the features, everything he comes with, alternate face, the mask from Hoist Goes Hollywood. You have the gun for the vehicle mode, and just kind of showing off how the face change gimmick works. You know, how he holds the weapons. I actually really like how they did the thumb on him, to be honest. He's going to hold that pretty securely. Yeah, there's a stand adapter for him as well, which I think is pretty smart, which I'm guessing will probably be compatible with that original stand that Trax came with. Some of the transformation stuff here. So just a cool overview, and I'm guessing that this figure is going to be out really, really soon. This looks like a production version of the figure. So yeah, this is up on Weibo if you're interested in checking out that overview. But again, as I expect, a lot of reviewers will be getting this in the coming weeks. And lastly, we get an update from X-Transbots, as well as some insider information that I'm going to share. So first up, X-Transbots posted this today, and this was, I think this was on either Weibo or Bilibili. But so basically, they state in the next 2 months, you're going to have MX-61, MX-61T, Bulldozer, and Blade. So meaning you're going to be getting the Toon and toy version of Misfire this month shipping out. So the Toon version is coming first, the toy version coming second. We've already seen what appeared to be a final production version in the hands of someone. Bone Crusher is coming this month as well, and they're finally getting their blades out this September. I couldn't find. When I was trying to put the show together, I couldn't find it. But they're, I think he is. I forget what the name they're going with for him is, but it's I think it's Vanguard. Their version of Hotspot is also about to get done. So I have some insider information from a designer at X-Transbots. I'm not making this up, but I'm in a Twitter or X chat with one of them. And he told me that the next thing they're going to be working on is going to be another Season 1 combiner, as well as a Season 3 combiner. So I can tell you with certainty that the next combiner they're working on is going to be a Bruticus. So basically, we were asked to guess it, and he kind of nodded at Bruticus. As for the Season 3 one, didn't go into say what it was. I asked if it was. He did tell us that it is not Computron. So it is not Computron. So I asked, does that mean Predaking? And I didn't get a response. So it looks like we're going to be getting 2 new combiners announced from X-Transbots in the very near future. But, as far as as far as, confirmations outside of, what they're going to be, outside of, definitely Bruticus is a slam dunk because they'll be able to get repaints upon repaints out of that. X Transbots loves the repaints, so they'll be able to do the G1 toy, the G2, Ruination, because I'm sure there are probably people that are looking at the MMC Assaultus and going like, "Why I'd like a, that Zeta scale," because they've kind of established the combiner scale with third party. And I agree with Lance. It will take them a long time to get these out. In fact, I still haven't bought Paragon, their version of First Aid, because I am getting the X Transbots. I am getting the X Transbots Protectobots to be my combined Defensor. So I'm like, I've just been kind of waiting on First Aid to go on sale, to be honest with you, because that's what happened with Groove. That's what happened with Streetwise. So, yeah. But, getting Blades and getting Hotspot out, it'd be nice to finally have a correct scale for my display Defensor. I think Predaking's probably likely. But yeah, as far as like what they would do for a season 3, I really don't know. If I cover Astrobots, I'd have to do like their own segment. Maybe I'll do a monthly thing where I just kind of go over, stuff that interests me from other lines, like be it like, giant robots or, robot figures. I still do like Chigokin stuff, but I am trying to keep my, trying to stay in my lane for reasons that that I will state to the broader audience very soon. But I'm just trying to stay in my lane, trying to really focus on my MP stuff. So trying to keep my collecting focused. Right now I'm trying to offload a lot of G.I. Joe stuff because I just don't have the space. I definitely don't have the space. I don't have the funds, and I don't have the I don't have the time to curate that collection. So as much as I love G.I. Joe, I just got to keep it to Transformers and the video games, the occasional video game stuff, and and some giant robots here and there, but really focused. I've got all the Ninja Turtles I want. I'm probably gonna nix the Star Wars. You can't even see it; it's off camera. But I have a Star Wars display in my office. I'm probably gonna get rid of the Mandalorian stuff and some of the helmets and all, and just kind of get it down to like the OG cast, and then put my Marvel Legends out because I've got the Sentinel and I've got I really want to get my Galactus and Fantastic Four on display with the High Evolutionary and Doctor Doom. Like the core Marvel stuff, the core Marvel characters and the Avengers, and then get my Ninja Turtles up there. So, and when I get back from vacation, we should make that happen. And yes, Boss Hog, I am old, so I do love my G.I. Joe stuff, but I do like having the handful of G.I. Joe Transformers. I'd like to get that Soundwave, but I've been waiting for him to show up somewhere on the cheap. But I've got Megatron and I've got Cup. I've thought about getting the Bumblebee, but he's bad. But with that, I think that's a good place to wrap up. So as mentioned, I won't be doing a show next Tuesday. I'll be out on vacation. I'll be enjoying some time on the beach with my in-laws and my wife and their family. And my cousins are coming, so that's exciting. So I'll have some of my family there as well. And I hope everybody has a great week ahead of them. And thanks for everybody. I didn't realize you were the same age. Well, welcome to the club. Welcome to Club 40. But yeah, it's going to wrap it up. So yeah, I won't be around here next Tuesday. I'll be back the following Tuesday. Maybe if, depending on when I get back on Saturday, I might do something. Maybe I'll just chill out. But chances are, after being on the road, coming back from the Carolinas, I might be tired. But I will be on Gronky on Dogs the following day. So if you check out the gaming content over there, you'll probably see me Sunday after next. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great week ahead of them. Thanks to everybody who hung out. If you're watching me on the replay, leave a comment. Let me know anything that I talked about that you're excited about. Did you get anything from the SDC releases, any of those exclusives? I want to know. And let me know what your thoughts are on that interview that came out. Is there any information in there that made you really excited? Anything that you're looking forward to that Evan and Nate hinted at? But yeah, that's going to do it. Until next time, Zero out. Have a great one.